and guess whom I hear? I hear Deepika Padukone outside. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm stuck with Deepika Padukone in the washroom. It's about drugs and stuff, because people outside feel like, oh, film industry matlab drugs. Everyone must be like snorting and being like, please, we are working all day and night over there. We work on shifts. Trust me, we work on shifts. Like, it's crazy, man. We are working all day.
Yeah, but man, congrats on.
Thank you.
This is like, I think your first.
I have done films before this, but
this was like the standout because I watched it the other day and you've done such a good job.
Thank you.
And so when you're seeing someone on screen, it feels very.
I know.
And it's like after a point though, it's as if it's life, and I'm like rooting for you. I'm like I want him to do well now. Yeah, but I really enjoyed watching Ankahi Kahaniya, and I enjoy that whole anthology format also. How did that happen? Like,
Have we started already?
Yeah, we don't.
Okay. Okay. So I have known the casting director Taran Bajaj for several years now.
Mm-hmm.
He also took me in Hindi medium.
Yeah.
So that was my film before this, I think. Film before this. And Haneet Rehan, one of the producers in MacGuffin Pictures, he has known me. He was a casting director before. So he has known me for several years. He took me in my first film, Chittagong, and then Bubblegum. And so they knew me for a very long period of time. I was supposed to work with Abhishek Chaubey, the director, for another film known as Son Chidiya.
Yeah.
But that didn't work out. But then, I think it's for a reason, because I'm doing a lead in this one, so I'm really happy.
Yeah, is this your first lead?
No. This is my third lead. My first lead was a film called Bubblegum.
I've seen Bubblegum.
Yeah, and then I did a film called Chittagong. And then there's this one.
So how does do you just get a call and they're like, yo, we're thinking?
No. You have to test several rounds and all. You have to go to Mumbai and test. Now though it's happening all online, so you have to record your stuff and just send it. But it's
auditions.
Auditions. Sometimes just meetings also. But very rare for a struggling actor like me. That's still thoda sa time hai uske liye.
Yeah, unless they only want you for that role.
It's written for me.
Yeah. But then how do auditions work? Like, is it like the movies where you enter a room and just everyone looks like you? Or
no, so it's not like that. I think there are different kinds of auditions that take place. So there are these mass auditions that take place where there are struggling actors in Aramnagar who just go there and they just want to, take any job that they get because they are literally struggling there.
Yeah.
So they'll knock on the door and they'll be like fit or not fit, and then they'll be rejected. The actors who literally carry different costumes in their bags, like doctor's costume, police costume, some other costume, lawyer's costume, and they'll go for the audition. Like, it's their job. They wake up, they put these costumes. I've seen them. So there are those kind of auditions. Like, everyone gets crowded up there. Then there are some specific auditions which are for people who have already done a certain amount of work. So if I've done some work, the casting directors will give me a heads up that, this is the scene. Would you be interested to audition for this? And then you have to go there and you have to audition. So that's a bit more private. And then there are the biggest stars, they get different kind of auditions. So over there, most probably the director will be there. And the producer could be there. So it's those. So if there's a Rajkumar Rao who gives an audition today, he will go for a specifically director, casting director, producer wala audition.
Okay.
But for me, it's the second one where they'll call me, I'll go, I'll audition, and then I'll come back.
But so then when you're over there, do you see the other people who are also auditioning?
I get really nervous. when
you see
that. Like, I remember there was this one film, Chauranga. I went all the way from Pune to Mumbai. And I was standing in the auditions. I've traveled for 4 hours and I'm like tired. Okay, I want to you in that bus you're traveling and then you reach there. And not only the bus, you sit in the rickshaw and then you travel in Mumbai in the crowd and then you reach the audition. So once you reach the audition, you're standing in that line. And at that point of time, I'd done 2 films. I'd done Bubblegum and Chittagong. But Chittagong hadn't released. And no one really watched those films. So no one really knew that I've done films as the lead.
Yeah.
So I'm standing in the audition and I won't take names. There is this kid who comes. And it is my turn to get in. So I'm in the line, it's my turn to get in. And the door opens and the casting assistant looks at this kid and he's like, okay, come in.
Yeah.
And he just came. So
Yeah.
maybe most probably he gave a call or something. But I'm like, I waited for 4 hours
Yeah.
to reach here, and now I'm waiting here for an hour. And I was like, it's okay, achal, let's see what happens. And they opened the door. I went in. And over there, obviously, the people involved in the casting, etc., were there. And maybe some assistants and all also were there. And some of them like said, oh, you're the star, to that kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, now we are auditioning for the same role.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, he's the star and what am I? I'm a struggler. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, theek hai. And then...
Is this a well-known person or?
Who, the kid?
Yeah.
He did a film where he was playing a youngster for a very big superstar.
Yeah.
Who has a significant feature.
Okay.
Especially in his hands.
You can say the name and we'll bleep it. Like no one will
Chal. The kid in...
Okay.
Okay. And it's not his fault or anything. Like he has done a very big film. I had done a film which no one watched.
Yeah.
So he came there and he did his thing. And then they gave us the scenes. They gave us the same scenes. And after that, we went out to prepare. And the sad thing was that at that point, my dad was going through certain health complication and all. And his dad was there. And his dad was teaching him. And my dad taught me acting.
Oh.
So I'm standing there now. And I'm like in the midst of this Aram Nagar circus where there are like 100 of like children auditioning with their parents, and I've come all the way from there and I'm like standing here. So I went, I did my thing, but I got out of there. I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
It was too hectic. But the funny thing is I got the film.
Oh.
Yeah, I got the film and I was really happy. And so that's how it is.
Then it gets easier with every movie you do now, because then there's just more to look at for the people who are casting you.
Well, it depends on your perspective. I think the pressure increases with every film too. Because now it's like I've done 6 projects, I've done 6 features, and I'm still auditioning.
Yeah.
So the question mark is, am I good enough
this stop?
to for them to just call me for a meeting? But I don't mind auditioning, honestly, because it helps you. Like, if you're not working, then auditions are a good thing to do.
Yeah.
But maybe that'll be a problem when you like start working and all. So maybe that time. But I've not reached that stage yet.
Yeah. But then with acting, it's one of those fields where, like, you talk about stand-up comedy, you get noticed, you put out a video.
Yeah.
Like, you can do stuff to get noticed. With an actor, like, I don't think there's much you can do unless you're doing films. And to get in those films in the first place, like, it's not easy.
It's very difficult.
So what do actors do? Like, I don't think if you start putting out reels of you like just acting, I don't think that's going to...
I don't know, because depends from actor to actor. A lot of actors have gone into YouTube and they're doing their stuff and reels and stuff. And it is really commendable because it takes a lot to entertain someone within that short span of time.
Yeah.
But there are some actors who really take the craft a bit too seriously. And I think I consider me to be one of them, not like sounding too pompous.
Yeah.
But I would really like to spend a lot of time with the character, like where is he from? What has he done? Why is he doing what he's doing? Yeah. So that's important to me. So I can't just put on makeup and just go on camera and do it. So I think some actors find their way out through reels, but for me, it's a bit difficult. So I'm like...
Would you call yourself like a method actor where...
Method actor? No, I think method actor, I think some characters might need it. I have not gone through that. But I think there's a method in every performance. Like there's a certain preparation that you do in everything. Also, it depends from character to character. So for example, I was playing this TB patient in a film called Chhapaak. Yeah. And in that, I had to feel what a TB patient... Now, how do you feel how a TB patient feels? Like it is so much pain and trauma. So over there, I had made literally this file. And when I went to meet Meghna Gulzar, I showed her this file that I've made. Like, this is how TB patients look. Do you want me to lose weight? Do you want me to do this, that? It's like, no, you don't need to do that. And then I was like, I did so much. But she's right. I mean, it's a 10-minute...
tuberculosis? No, don't.
Yeah, so I literally thought for a second, like, should I get some illness or something like that? Yeah. Can I do it on purpose? Yeah. But then obviously that's just being over ambitious. But I think every character needs its own prep according to the director, and you should go by that. So
so many times like we hear stories of this actor who like is in character and it takes him some time to come out. Does that actually happen, like when you're doing a role and then you're just like you become...
Yeah, it does happen sometimes.
Yeah,
like there are those moments where you actually feel so close to the character. For example, for me, the same film Chhapaak, the last day of the film was also in fact an event, like incident related to this that happened. So what happened is I was pretty stuck to the character of Rohit because he passes away eventually.
Yeah.
They don't show it in the film, but he passes away. So the funny thing was, not the funny thing, like the sad thing was that it was the last day of the shoot. We finished shoot and I was changing my clothes. I was getting out of the patient's costume. And the one thing that was ringing in my head was, I'm getting to get out of this.
Yeah.
He did not make it.
Oh.
And that was running in my head. And just when that is happening, like Deepika Padukone and Meghna Gulzar and all of us hugged and all. And then they are like, you have to come for the wrap-up party.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just going through some stuff in here. Like, you want me to come and party after this? But then I had to like go. They're like, don't go to Pune, come and party with us. So then I was like, okay. Then I went, and by the time I reached, I was really tired because I hadn't slept the night before that. I need some amount of time before I go for the shoot. But I wasn't on purpose because I had to play this character.
Yeah.
So I went for the shoot and I reached the wrap-up party location. This posh hotel in Mumbai somewhere, I don't know where. And I went there and no one had come there. I went directly from the shoot only.
Yeah.
Because I had nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
so I went there. I was waiting there and then I had to pee. And I had to sleep also for some time. So I decided to go in the washroom and pee and then sleep over there only on the seat for some time. And then come out after some time once people come. Yeah, and then I went. And I was really tired. So I didn't even see left, right. I just went, okay. And these posh, I have a big complaint against these posh like clubs. They don't put the toilet sign clearly.
Yeah.
Of what it is.
Men and women one.
Yeah, there is some weird cat or something like that. And I'm like, okay, theek hai. So I didn't even care. I was like, I just need to sleep. I went and I slept off on the toilet seat. I wake up half an hour later. I don't know how much time later. It's like a thing. I woke up and I can hear people outside and they're women. And I'm like, wait a minute, what just happened here? And I'm like, but the sign. And I was like, yeah, I didn't really understand what it was. And guess whom I hear? I hear Deepika Padukone outside. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm stuck with Deepika Padukone in the washroom.
And you can't even go out now.
Can't even go out.
That creep who's...
Yeah, and they are talking about stuff. I mean, they were talking about some things over there. And I was like, okay, I'm not hearing this.
Yeah.
I'm just here. And then I was like, how do I get out of this place? So then they're going and coming. And then I was like, okay, fine, calm down. Just keep peeping from like below if there's anyone, if you can hear anything.
Yeah.
There was no one for like a 5 seconds. I got up and I was like, I'm a woman. I just left. And I left and I got out and I got off the thing. And then I was like, I didn't meet anyone. I didn't hug anyone. I didn't click pictures. I ran home and I dozed off. And I was like,
that was your wrap-up party.
That was my wrap-up party for Chhapaak. So yeah, it was really stressful.
Man, that could have gone a lot of ways. Like if you got out and then they see you and then you're suddenly this creep.
What do you do? Yeah, you're in the washroom with, I mean, especially with Deepika, if a star like Deepika Padukone.
And you've
like,
done the movie already. So
yeah.
now what do they do?
Yeah, and I was like, and it would be so embarrassing to see her like this.
Yeah.
She knows me as this actor and whatever now.
Yeah.
But what is he doing in the washroom with me?
What is Deepika like as a, like how much time did you get to spend with her?
While prepping, we had our meetings and stuff. And also she was a producer for the first time on the film.
Yeah.
Which is really sweet. She used to keep asking questions like, are you okay?
Yeah.
And normally what happens is actors come, they stay in the hotel and they're kept there for months. While the shoot is going on, especially supporting characters.
Yeah.
But she was really sweet to ask me, are you being sent back? Are you being brought? Are you being fed properly? Everything is fine.
That's sweet.
It's very sweet.
Do you get starstruck? Or when you...
I did get starstruck when I saw her for the first time.
Yeah.
We had gone to the Fox office and it's just a very filmy thing. The door was like this and Meghna and Deepika ma'am were inside and the door opened and she just like took her head out to call for her.
It's like...
Yeah,
it's like a movie.
It's like slow motion. It's like Aankhon mein teri. So I was like that. And so I saw her there and then I was like, yeah, man, I'm doing this.
Yeah, man, being in the same room as Deepika, that's when you start taking shit seriously.
In fact, we met Ranveer too. And he was extremely sweet. He came to the Delhi schedule.
Yeah.
And he really did not need to do this. But he has this thing, he wears all these clothes and all. And when he comes on set, everyone knows that it's Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
So all of us are like waiting. And for a struggling actor, Ranveer Singh is like the touchstone.
Yeah.
It is like the person I aspire to be.
Yeah.
So he comes and I think he saw some of the footage and he comes up to me and he's shaking everyone. And Deepika ma'am was introducing him to everyone. And she's like, he plays my brother. And he came and he shook his hands. And I hold this memory really close to my heart. And he came and he told me that, Tera dekha maine footage kal. And बहुत बढ़िया काम कर रहा है, keep it up. And he didn't need to do that.
Yeah.
And for a second, when he said, तेरा देखा मैंने कल, I was thinking, did you watch my movie or something? I couldn't, because you can't process. I'm like, did you watch my movie, which no one really, like, not a lot of people watched? I don't know. So then I realized he's talking about the footage. And he just shook his hand and he didn't tell that to any other actor. He told that to me.
He didn't need to.
He didn't need to. Like, he really didn't. He's Ranveer Singh.
Yeah.
But the fact that he came up to you and said that, and it's a lot of encouragement, even though...
Yeah, that goes a long way. Like, if you're being recognized by
someone like
who's
him.
Probably the best
Absolutely.
actor we've had in a while.
Yeah, I was really happy when that happened.
And that would have given me such an ego boost where I'm just like... You should
I
have taken a picture with him.
I have this thing against taking pictures. Yeah, I feel too intrusive.
Well, you posted one with Irfan and
I wouldn't
not take a picture.
No, I can't.
Yeah.
Irfan says was like, I would do any. I don't like touching people's feet and stuff like that. But I would do anything for that man. Like he was something else.
Yeah, man. I watched Hindi medium recently for the first time. And like there were multiple times throughout the movie where I had tears just because of Irfan. And there was nothing like sad happening in the movie. It's just that looking at him and he's so natural.
Yeah.
What was working with him like?
I didn't get to work with him like per se because we were playing the same character. But the fact that I got to share a character with him, it's like, I think of all the achievements, including Ankahi Kahaniya, this will be maybe my greatest achievement for the rest of my life, that I played a character with him.
Yeah.
I did the part. It was a 2-day shoot in Delhi. We shot for Hindi medium. And I came back. I met him though later after the shoot. So they had these premieres and wrap-up parties and premiere parties and the success parties. So we met there and he was just really sweet, man. He saw me and he's like, "Arey Papa," and then he hugged me. And the most weird thing about that picture is that, in fact, not weird, I'm really happy that happened, is the AD was clicking the picture, something got stuck, like the camera got stuck. So something was happening and it's really awkward because I really look up to this guy and he's hugging me. So at that point it was awkward, but today I'm really happy that happened because I got to hug him for like 5 seconds more. But in that picture we both are really awkward even though we are smiling. Well, we are actors. That's what happened. So
oh man, he was something else. Probably my favorite Indian actor.
Probably one of my favorite actors.
Yeah.
And he is a gem of a human.
And what's interesting about him is like he's not the most good looking, like handsome actor there is. Like he has this certain charm about him where he's so, everything that he says, you feel it, like it's so wholesome just hearing him speak. And when he's in flow, when he does his like Delhi proper, it's just no one else can do it as good as him.
His eyes are so beautiful, man. I could just look at them all day. It's like such beautiful eyes.
Yeah, he was, and it's not just in India, he was recognized everywhere. Like
I think of all these actors, they kind of show off about going to Hollywood and making it, like you do the smallest thing and it'll be like a big deal.
Yeah.
I didn't know he was in Spider-Man, like until the film came. I went and watched and I was like, okay, this Irfan is there in this.
Yeah.
Otherwise, people make like a big deal. Hollywood film, there are some actresses, not Priyanka or Deepika, but there are some actresses who have gone out there and been like, we are doing Hollywood and whatever. But this guy,
him, you would randomly see him in movies.
Yeah, you see him in Jurassic Park, like the biggest of franchise, like Spider-Man, Jurassic Park. I mean, you're like, what? Slumdog Millionaire, Oscar, and like.
He was the go-to guy, I think, if they needed an Indian. They knew that he'd do the job.
Absolutely.
I don't know who we have who can just go and be.
I think I've had this discussion with Rajkumar Rao. Rajkumar, who was then Rajkumar Yadav. So he really has potential and ambition to go international. Yeah. I don't think he talks about it, but he does have that eye that he wants to go.
He's really, really good. I enjoy watching him.
He's really good. And he's one of the nicest people. Of all the people that I've worked with, they must be having busy schedules, but Rajkumar Rao has always replied, has always been close. In fact, I met him last year. I was sitting outside a theatre in Mumbai and I met him. And he recognized me and he's like, I saw Chhapaak and I was thinking of messaging you. And I was like, you remember me? And he's like, yeah, I do. I mean, of course he remembers me because we've been chatting. But the fact that he knows about my work and appreciates it, and he's just very sweet.
Yeah, you hear all these stories about these people, but then I feel like most of them are just really nice, sweet people. I'm sure there are assholes out there as well in the industry.
There are assholes everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think I'm honestly saying this. If I feel that if you want to make it really big, there needs to be a certain amount of honesty and dedication. And yeah, sometimes assholes are really dedicated and honest too. That's why they make it big. But if you want to make it big in this industry, you need to be honest and dedicated.
Yeah.
So.
But the honesty though always like goes a long way, and most of it is just some people can't deal with honesty, so then that comes off as arrogance at some point.
That happens very, very often. Yeah. Because see, if someone is so dedicated, now for example, Manoj Vajpayee, we were shooting on a hill in Chittagong, for Chittagong.
Yeah.
And there were some fans who came up there. And he was like, not right now and all. So when I looked at it as objectively, I was like, I would feel hurt if that happened to me, if I climbed all the way and came here on this hill to meet Manoj Vajpayee. But the character was going through so much at that point of time. There are people who are dead in the army unit. So when I started realizing what acting was, I realized that, that must have been arrogance. So it's subjective, right? What is arrogance for someone else might be a dedication for someone else.
Yeah. But it's working, like you're working, you're at work and then you sometimes you don't have time. If you go to any other person who's doing any other job, like a chef in the kitchen, and you go and be like, yo, I want to...
And as artists, you are actually selling bits of yourself, right? Because when I'm going through what I went through as Rohit, I do go through what a person who's about to die is going through. I mean, I know it sounds really like... But it's true. You put yourself there, you put a part of yourself in that position.
So that you can show it to...
So that you can show it. And otherwise, the world won't believe in it if you don't believe in it. So how do I do that without being a bit aloof, without taking my time?
Yeah.
So
you have to spend time trying to be that person. Otherwise, it doesn't come off as genuine. And it's very easy to tell.
The camera just catches it.
It's
camera always just
1 second of someone stepping out of character, you catch it. How many do you have to do some takes multiple times, like over and over again, and does it get annoying? It was like...
Yeah, it gets really, not more than annoying, it gets really frustrated and scared. I'm very scared as an actor. So the moment it goes about like 3-4 takes, because there are like 200 people on set. And everyone is there for you to get it right, and they want to move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
And sometimes you're shooting in, like, for Hindi medium, I was shooting in the midst of Chandni Chowk. And there are so many permutation combination things that could go wrong.
Yeah.
You're literally riding that. And that was one of the most difficult days of shoot for me in my life. Because I was riding that rickshaw.
Yeah.
And you consider it to be riding a bicycle. I know how to ride a cycle. I've been doing it all my life. But the rickshaw, it moves towards the right for some reason. So on the day of the shoot, I went there, I reached there, I'm on the cycle, Sanjana Sanghi sits behind me, and I'm like, yeah, cool, let's go. And they start shooting, and the bloody thing just keeps going towards the right. And I'm cycling, and they're like, why are you going?
Keep getting it back on track.
So I don't know how to get it back.
Yeah.
So the director's like, why are you going there? I was like, I'm not going. It is going. I am just riding it. So then he said, okay, get off, practice. For half an hour early in the morning across Chandni Chowk, I'm riding a cycle rickshaw all across the whole area. And people are like calling for rickshaw, and I'm like, let me do. And then I'm like going. So yeah, so stuff like that, it really gets on your nerves. I in the end, I did it. I'm happy. Those 5-10 seconds that they got right, it's on footage that I have done that.
It's for the montage, no?
For the song.
For the song.
Yeah, Atif Aslam song.
So
I was like, early in the morning, I'm like riding across Chandni Chowk, trying to practice the cycle rickshaw, trying not to bump into some other stuff, and it was very scary, but done.
When did you know that you wanted to act? Like, is it something that you've had it since you were a child, or?
I think my father is usually responsible for that. He wanted to become an actor himself. So he couldn't because he came from a not so well-to-do family and stuff. So he wanted to, but he couldn't. And then he trained me as an actor. I went for several acting classes too.
Okay.
But he was my first acting teacher. And so yeah, when I started out, it was more about my dad wanted to do this and he couldn't. So I'm doing it. But now it's like something that I've fallen in love with. So it's like arranged marriage.
Yeah.
So now I'm in love with it. So I'm just like carrying it forward.
You used to go for acting classes when you were in school.
Yeah, when I was in school.
For people who don't know, we went to the same school and we never had like dramas and nothing.
Most schools don't. I don't know about now.
Yeah. Now maybe I think it's a new thing that kids have started doing. But then, so what would be your practice like? Would you just, because you're not acting for anything. Like, I don't know if you did ads or
No,
anything
I started with films only. But my prep at that point of time, you're asking? So I think what I used to do is I used to watch all these films. So I had a very, I had a long list of actors that I really liked. Heath Ledger was one of them. Hrithik Roshan was one of them. And a lot of these dramatic film scenes. Raj Kapoor was one of them.
Yeah.
So I literally have this showreel, which is now private on YouTube, where my old showreel, where I was doing all the things that these actors are doing. So I'm a Raj Kapoor from Shri 420. I'm a Hrithik Roshan from Koi Mil Gaya. I'm a Heath Ledger from The Dark Knight. And I made these small clips. And I don't know whether it helped or not, but when I went for the audition for Chittagong, we left back one of the CDs. And the director later told me we were watching those tapes while having our dinner.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether it helped or not, but that's what I used to do. And I would like to tell that to all actors who are struggling as well, that if you don't have work, keep recording stuff on video and keep saving it, because you can add it to your showreel always.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to do that. I used to do that continuously.
That is, again, we're coming back to struggling as an actor, and it's just like, how do you get yourself out there? And maybe here it's not much, but if you go to somewhere like Bombay, where there's thousands and thousands of people who are trying to make it, who are some examples of actors who have come from nothing?
Shah Rukh Khan,
Yeah.
Akshay Kumar, Ayushmann Khurrana, Rajkumar Rao, Irfan Khan, Deepika, Priyanka. There's also Rinku Rajguru, who's my actress in.
Yeah, I love watching him. He's so good.
She is brilliant. There is, and I think even in Hollywood, I think Heath Ledger, coming from Australia, becoming a Hollywood star.
Yeah.
Al Pacino had a really tough time with whatever he did. He became in fact, I take my inspiration not only from actors. I take from football stars too. I take it from Cristiano Ronaldo. So yeah, I mean, you look at these people who have come from nowhere and they do make it. I've read most of these people's books, like autobiographies and biographies and stuff. So yeah, it's inspiring.
Yeah, it is, but it's all about that hunger, and you just want it so bad that like you spend every minute just trying to get better and better, and it pays off. Like, a lot of people don't realize that if you dedicate everything that you have to this one thing, and you just get better and better, maybe not all the time, but I don't see why it won't work out for you. Like, maybe you can get unlucky along the way, but then
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, because like I kind of have this thing that destiny also plays a big role in it, because I'm the same actor who's worked just as hard for every audition for all my life. But there are some times when things just keep working out, and there are some times when things just don't work out.
Yeah.
And when that happens, you're just like questioning everything. But you have to keep faith and you have to keep like trying, because what else do you have? Like,
yeah, but that's the difference between you and someone who will give up at that point.
Yeah. In fact, I have this theory that I don't believe in competition. I know a lot of actors say that I don't believe in competition, but I actually don't, because I'm not going to take names, but there was a very big child artist when I started out. Okay, he had the biggest film with the biggest superstar. I think you can guess his name. But he shifted his gears and he's gone into theatre. And when I started out, there was this another big film, Slumdog Millionaire. Everyone knows about it. A lot of child artists. But somewhere or the other, they have also shifted gears and been.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, I was considering these people are doing so many things. But when I look at it today, that I'm still doing. And even though I've not made it big like they did at that point of time, but the fact that I'm still persistent, I'm still doing.
Yeah.
So you realize that it's a very difficult industry, and the competition that you think competition is themselves going to struggle. So you better focus on your thing. I used to literally look at these pictures of these childhood actors, like these children stars in these films, and I used to feel like, I wish I got that part. But today when I look back, I'm like, they got that part, but still they're struggling.
Yeah.
So whatever you consider competition, it's not really gonna work. You do your thing, and that's gonna stay with you. That's it.
It's a lot about, even like, say you get that one big part, you do that one big movie. It's like you have to keep going. You can't just.
You can't.
Like,
and I wish I reach a point where I don't have to be a part of that circus, honestly. Because you do that one film, then you go, you can take a break for like a year or so.
Yeah.
I'm not a hungry actor, as they say. There are a lot of actors who are really hungry. They'll do like anything that they get.
Yeah.
I am not like that. I'll
so
be
do
like.
you reject scripts or do you reject auditions?
I'm no one to reject.
No, like,
but there are times when I have said no to certain projects because it didn't feel right. And it's a good thing because the director will also not be happy working with me then.
Yeah.
I'm doing, if anything, it's better for the film because I'm not feeling it.
Yeah. Like a rocky marriage. Like, it's not going to work out in the end.
You know that, yeah. So you better.
The product isn't going to be. Yeah, but then now with Netflix and all, I feel like it's much easier for people.
Opportunities.
Yeah, opportunities are more, and the quality is also much higher now, and there's more stuff coming out now because there's a new show every Friday. There's a new movie every Friday that comes out.
Yeah, right.
And their casting, the way they do their casting, sometimes it's very random. Like, one of my friends got a call from Netflix, and he's not even an actor. They just wanted him to play this role because they thought that it would be he would be the best. Literally just out of Instagram. And
so social media and these platforms have played a huge deal. I've got a lot of messages like via these platforms that, so I think things are changing, and for actors especially, I'm really happy that this is opening more platforms up.
Yeah.
But also it increases competition.
Yeah.
So if that is increasing, this is also increasing, because now families which used to only want their children to be engineers and doctors are allowing their children to grow up and do different things.
Yeah.
But
But everything right now is content. Like, without content, there's nothing. Even if you're working at a company which, I don't know, makes toothpaste caps, you're going to have a social media page that is going to be run by someone like me who knows social media. And you can't do anything without it.
You can't get rid of that cycle. That's become a thing now.
And I feel like it's better for everyone to realize that, and instead of cribbing about it, just like learn. Learn.
Yeah.
But then with you, what are you gonna do? Like, document your life or just make content? Like, I don't see you picking up your phone and making like a relatable reel.
No, because I'm not that guy. Like, I'm not out there. I agree that I should be more. I'm trying. You saw that I put up a picture, like a portfolio picture, like some days back. I'm trying.
Yeah.
I get really anxious about stuff. Like, why didn't I get more likes? That's the thing. Like, I'm very anxious about these things. So I can't really. And also I find it difficult. I mean, I don't know how you do it, and that's why I was complimenting you, because I really don't know how you do it, man, because you're putting yourself out there, and the vlogs that you used to do, it's really difficult for me because I think I have certain self image issues, and I'm like, why would you want to know about me in the first place?
But then I feel like you only get past that by putting out more of yourself.
Maybe.
And why would you think that when there are people who are casting you in their movies for the world to see?
So there's a bit of trolling that happened on the video of Hoor, the same Hindi medium film, and Sanjana Sanghi became a big star after SSR and everything that happened. Dil Bechara and stuff. Like, she became a very big star last year. So suddenly, out of nowhere, this new Reels thing came, and I didn't know anything about it. And suddenly, this Hindi Hoor song started going everywhere. And oh my god, the comments on that, some of those comments.
Like the music video.
Yeah, some of those comments, just like, I literally have screenshots of those things that they have said about me.
Yeah.
And come on, you put anyone next to Sanjana Sanghi, they look inferior. She's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And plus, I'm playing a tailor who's from Chandni Chowk, a simple, ordinary boy.
Yeah.
And no makeup, nothing. And I'm there running around this girl. You can't expect me to be a hunk. In fact, during the shoot, there was this guy, one of the people who were working, Spot Dadas, they told me that, why don't you walk like a hero? I'm like, in the midst of Chandni Chowk, this guy, why will he walk like a hero? He's trying to find this girl.
Yeah.
So, but the audience does think that way because the audience wants those buffed up people to, woo the girl. I am not that guy.
Yeah.
So when they commented some really brutal things, that just took a very, because before that I remember last year I put up stuff about my pets. I had 2 birds and stuff like that. But when something like this happens, because it has negative effects of these trolls, I was really shook.
Well, you've got to learn. I mean, this is easy to say, but you have to like tune out. So now when I post a reel, like for the first day, I'll look at like the first 2-3 comments that come.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, is anyone getting pissed off? No. Okay, cool. Then I let it go. And then maybe later I'll go and check. Otherwise, there's a lot. For me though, I get messages like people are like, why are you fat shaming? Because I use the word fat in one reel. Like, why are you fat shaming? And most of the stuff that I say on here are jokes. And this podcast is primarily a comedy podcast.
Correct.
But sometimes I want to have like people like you and just talk to them. So a lot of things that I say are jokes and then they're taken out of context. But then there's for every person who says something like that, there's 100 people who are enjoying it. So you can't just be... And YouTube comments though, they're something else. Like you have to be... I'll say this and it's mean to the people who comment on this podcast. But like, have you ever commented something on YouTube yourself?
I have.
Really?
I have. For Michael Jackson and stuff like that, whom I look up to, I have. But very rarely.
Yeah.
Very rarely.
Yeah, I think... I don't know. I was going to say something mean.
You're going to say like they're jobless or something like that.
No, like it's not something that I do. Like
yeah, it's not something that I do very often too. But I think it's just a way to vent. But when you are there and when you're looking at some... Like, okay, so with this video, there was Irfan Khan, Sanjana Sanghi, Atif Aslam. There were like loads of comments for them.
Yeah.
So as a kid who wants to be appreciated, you want one comment to be about you. And that one comment is why... It's really brutal. Yeah. It was like... why did they take this dengue patient? And yeah. And I'm like, seriously, are you going to like say that to someone on this? I felt really like... I literally have the screenshot still saved in my phone.
But these guys are losers, man. Like you have to be like... the way I think about comments or someone leaving a negative comment is like this guy's going through something in his life.
Yeah, it's their way to vent maybe.
Yeah. If you're going to be hateful on a YouTube comment, like there's so much shit that I see that I don't like, but I'm not going to say it. Like it's just you have to be kind of disturbed to leave a hate comment.
Very true. But now, if you have like insecurities, then it gets multiplied into 1,000.
True, but I think that's natural in a field like yours, where you're an actor and you're...
My face is what is...
Yeah, and you're constantly thinking about what people are going to... Are they going to enjoy my work? Are they going... You can't be so arrogant also and say, no, I know what I'm doing.
Absolutely. So yeah, you kind of feel like, oh, what's going to happen now if these people are finding me to be a dengue patient? But then on purpose, I got really mad at that comment. I was really upset. And I did a Chhapaak. I was like, fine, I'll play a patient. I'll play it better than you ever can. So yeah, so it was like that. But yeah, I'll try, promise.
Do you ever think of... You said that thing about they want someone buff who's like... Do you ever think of like transforming into...
I would love to. In fact, I've done that for a short film called Cowman because I had to beat up guys in that film. You watch my show reel on YouTube and I have done that.
Yeah.
But see, I have a very high metabolism. And I normally don't like eating too much.
Yeah.
I'm not a foodie. I don't like eating too much. So when that's the case, then... And I agree that you should be ready to take up. And I would be willing, trust me, if I get a part tomorrow, if the director trusts me enough to make me play a bodybuilder or a boxer, I would love to do it.
Yeah.
But to play a student, if you're imagining me to have 6 packs, then you better not take me. You take a star kid or someone who's interested in doing that kind of a thing, because I'm not. Because where do we, when we went to college, do you see someone like with 6 packs and all walking with his shirt half open with sunglasses in the you don't see that.
Yeah, but then that's the thing now. A lot of movies are fantasy. They're not supposed to be real. Like Student of the Year is not supposed to be a realistic. Yeah. It's, you watch that and you're like, I wish I was in this college.
I was supposed to be in Student of the Year just by the way.
Really?
Yeah. There's a part, fine, I'll just give it out. They needed a Parsi kid.
Okay.
So Boman Irani's son played a part. Sudo, I think his name is.
Yeah.
They wanted either a skinny kid or a buffed up, chubby kid.
Yeah.
So one of the two options. So I was the other option.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I don't know. Would I want to be a part of films that only sell fantasies? Maybe not. Because I want to be a part of films which make you relatable, make you feel like, okay, this is the story of what could be happening next door or in my college. Yeah. I would rather do that. Because I'll tell you what that impacts a person's insecurities too. I mean, if I watch not that he is doing something wrong, but if I watch a Tiger Shroff in a college movie, and if I go to college and I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm gonna feel like, am I doing something wrong? So yeah, I wouldn't want to do that.
If you ever get a role like that, then there's always steroids. And I don't think they're uncommon in your field.
I have no clue, to be very honest, but I'm sure.
No, I mean, to do transformations like that, there has to be some external, and they're doing multiple movies at the same time. So you have to be thin for one, you have to be buffed up for one.
Unless you're like Christian Bale and you're like, you can just morph into anything.
I'm sure I don't see anything wrong with it. It's your job to look a certain way. If steroids are going to get you there.
If it fits with you, good for you. Depends from person.
There's always so much controversy that this guy does steroids.
Yeah, especially about drugs and stuff, because people outside feel like, film industry matlab drugs. Everyone must be snorting and being please, we are working all day and night over there. We work on shifts. Trust me, we work on shifts. It's crazy, man. We are working all day. And people feel actors' life matlab all chill sitting in the vanity. It's not like that. You have to learn dictions. You have to change your body language. You have to have meetings. You have to have readings. And the physical work, if you see me cycling, you'll be like, 5 minute ka cycle chala. I'm cycling the whole day for that 5 minutes. So it's not that easy. So
then you should get to do drugs. I feel like if you're putting yourself through all that one.
I mean, I don't know. It depends from person to person. But I mean, it is there everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Weed is so common today all over.
Yeah.
I mean, where? In college people used to. In so many places people, not
schools
in college, but around, people who do stuff like that. So that these things are there. So it's not only the industry where it's happening. It's happening everywhere. But just I think uncle and aunties feel like, it's happening.
It gets highlighted when it's in the industry. And I said there will be one story of one actor doing it and then it just spreads.
Everyone does it.
Yeah. It's just not, I feel like rich people, once you have a certain amount of money, you don't know what to do with it. So drugs are, because first of all, to be doing coke, it's not cheap. You have to, but you know that it's not a cheap
it's very expensive.
Cheap commodity to buy. So you can't be like, Bollywood is just this. So I don't know, man. People always want to have something to talk about. That whole NCB thing that happened with I forgot her name.
Riya?
Yeah, that was just so stupid. All these uncles and aunties, their kids probably smoke weed.
I mean, I think there are, but I'll tell you what, I think they feel, at least the ones, because if they catch these people, then the example is caught, right?
Yeah.
The example is caught. I mean, to be very honest, I know so many people who have made these fake rumors about these big superstars doing drugs all the time.
Yeah.
And when I meet these people, far away from that, man. And it's not like they are just sitting in their vanity van doing. They have characters to work on. There's so much to work on.
Yeah.
So,
But sometimes, when you see someone like Ranveer Singh, it's easy to say that because he's so explosive and he's always out there. You're just he to must be doing for sure.
Yeah, if someone is energetic, they're doing. Shah Rukh Khan. I mean, people have said so many things about Shah Rukh Khan all the time, that he's doing this, he's doing that. Are you really going to be obsessed with only that? I mean, look at what he's done apart from that. He's built a building on the... I mean, I don't know what he does in his personal life, but what I can see and what I'm inspired by is that he has this building. He's come from nowhere in front of this like huge beach. And that is what I would like to look at. Because gossiping, we all can, like, oh, this guy does drugs, this guy's wife does this, this guy does... Focus on what he's doing right.
I feel like with people, especially in a country like India where movies are worshipped and actors are worshipped, when you see Shah Rukh doing a role like Ravan where he's this superhero, and then they expect that him to be like that in his like personal life also. Well, every person has some vices, every person has
I mean, we are not not me, I'm nobody, but I don't think stars are like these shining angels popping up from the sky. Just normal people. We have our flaws.
Now if someone who's like does mostly negative roles starts doing drugs, then I'm like, that's that's okay. But if Shah Rukh does it because he's usually not the villain. People are funny sometimes. I've actually written some notes here. Do you have any funny audition stories?
Funny audition stories?
Like you said, the one about the kid.
I don't know if it's funny, but it's really... I think sad is also funny, right? Because sad is funny. So there's this one audition where there was a strike, a taxi and a cab strike. And I was going all the way from the airport. I got to the taxi stand and there was no taxi, there was no bus. You won't believe me, I went running all the way from the airport to Ala Road, the expressway, to Aramnagar to Part 2 to give this audition. By the time I reached, I was in sweat from like top to bottom. And the casting director over there was Abhimanyu Ray. He's a very prominent casting director, and he saw me and he was shocked. He's like, what happened? Did you like... Did something happen? So I'm like, I just came running. There was a taxi and a bus strike. So he remembers that till date. So till date I get audition calls from him stating that,
After that, how do you say no to someone? Like, how do you reject someone after seeing them run?
After you see them that desperate, that bichara he's come all wet, how do you say no to them? But they said no for that audition. But
I ran for no reason.
But it's, I think they'll choose the best part and best person who suits the part. So stuff like that. What else? Is there any other anecdote from auditions? There are some auditions where you just go and you try to put on certain facades, trying to act too cool. So when I was a kid, I wanted to become this Bollywood star. I wanted to crack every audition. So I wanted to do that. So I would go and be this really talkative kid. Really irritating. So I would go and because networking, right? I don't know what the hell networking is, but networking. So I'm sitting there, I'm talking to the casting directors, like, what do you think about this? And I used to talk about cameras. So I'll just Google what kind of cameras they use in the audition. And I'll just go and talk to them. This camera is pretty cool, but what about this? And they used to easily catch into it, most probably. But I was trying to just be this cool networking kid. But
like the teacher's pet.
I was.
In school?
In college too. In college too. And you know how irritating those guys are, right? Like today when I look back, I'm like, I was that kid.
No, sometimes it's unnecessary. Like you're just... But then the teachers seem to love them. So like, it's like most kids, for me, I was never a teacher's pet, but I'd look at a teacher's pet and I'd be like, this is so annoying. But then he gets the job done. Like he gets what he's after.
So... Because see, the ones who are desperate will do that, right? The ones who are desperate will work really hard. So I think it's not a bad quality necessarily, but it's just really irritating. Because every time a teacher asks something, I was the kid who used to go in staff rooms and sit with teachers for like half an hour.
What, in our school?
In my college, SCMC. So I used to go and I used to do that. Like I used to go and I used to sit in the college and I used to be like... I was that kid.
Wait, when we were in school, I remember I was in the 5th grade, you were in the 9th grade. And when did you leave our school?
I left in the 9th grade only.
Oh, you left in 9th? You didn't stay for 10th?
Then I didn't give the exams or anything from Spice. I gave it directly in later on.
Oh, so you were working?
Yeah, I worked on one film, then I came back, then I had to give my 10th exams, couldn't give it. Then I postponed that, and then I gave my 10th exams. And
later on. Oh, I didn't know this. I was like, we were in school and then you disappeared.
I just disappeared. I was just like, because I didn't tell anyone because I was like, what should I tell them? Like, that I'm doing a movie and it's so, what if it doesn't work out?
Yeah.
And plus, I think, I don't know, it just happened so quick. I went and I gave an audition, got done, I got into the film, and I was like, what should I say? So, yeah.
Oh, which film was this?
Chhapaak.
I need to watch that. I haven't watched it yet.
It has Rajkumar Rao, Manoj Vajpayee,
And it's a pretty old film.
Siddiqui, Jaideep Allahabad, Vijay Verma.
It's a stacked lineup.
Yeah, I mean, all of these are superstars, right? If this film would have come out right now.
Yeah. Nawazuddin is also one of my favorites. He's just so good. Like every character he plays.
He's just like exposed all over the place right now. And he's there. Like.
Yeah. I remember there was a rumor where they were like he should do a Bond film.
Bond film?
Yeah.
Wow, man. That'd be so cool if he does it. Like imagine I think Nawaz and Irfan, both of these people have these thing about their eyes.
Yeah.
They're really tired. Not tired, but like really intense eyes. So.
And it's just the characters that they play also. It's just like with Nawaz in Sacred Games.
Ganesh Gaitonde.
Yeah. It's just such an iconic character. Movies are great, man. It's just, if you have nothing to do, just sit down, put on a movie.
If you have nothing to do.
No.
I think it's more than that. I think it's
for
like...
me right now, like at night, usually that's what I do. I just put on a movie. Shows, it's thoda, you have to be dedicated and it takes a lot of time. But movies, it's just for 2 hours. You get stuck in. That's what I loved going to the theater before. It's gone. I don't know when it's going to come back.
No, it will.
In India, it needs to come back. Like it was.
Yeah, I mean, it was an event, right? For us, like our festivals would be like we would go for films. It's like a thing, right?
Yeah.
And
it's a family ritual in so many families where on Sunday you go and you watch a film.
Yeah. Me and my dad, I think the only outing that me and my dad used to have is going for films. I don't remember going for picnics, going for any kind of, tours or anything. Films. So we used to go for films every Friday.
Friday is when they come out, right?
Friday is when they come out.
Do you watch everything? Everything that... No?
Now I don't. Since my dad became unwell, I've stopped watching so many films. Also, I don't have a lot of these subscriptions.
Yeah.
So I don't really...
Old school days where we give films on pen drives to each other.
And now they're like available on these pirated sites. I mean, I was asking my friend, how do you guys watch movies? I was like, these sites. I'm not going to name them, but there are these sites. You can just go and watch whatever you want.
Yeah.
That was quite a struggle. I remember before pen drives, we used to get these CDs from these rental shops which we used to go to.
Yeah.
And it used to be such a struggle. Like you have to convince your mom, dad, then they'll give you money, then you have to go there, you have to go through that album, then you have to select, you have to get it. Today it's like click, done.
And it's done. Those subscriptions, the other day I was looking at my expenses and I was like, man, all this adds up. Like when you're paying 200 a month, you're like 200 is nothing. But then at the end of the month it's just, and they happen on their own. Like once you're subscribed, you don't even get a notification anymore. Yeah, films are magic. It's just a fun experience too.
I think it helps you like travel, right, through time, space, and emotions. Gets you to learn a lot about yourself too. I love Slumdog Millionaire. It helps me like be inspired and dream. There are a lot of those small moments in that film which kind of inspire. So yeah, man, love films.
Films are. I mean, you don't have an option. Youth don't have an option.
I don't have an option. I have to
love films. What's a recent film that you watched and you really enjoyed?
I don't watch many films, but Ankahi Kahaniya is on Netflix.
You should
it's
check.
A really good film. You should watch it.
No, but genuinely, I really enjoyed watching it. All 3 stories. Yours was my favorite. I mean, I have to say that now. No, but generally, like that one was. There was not much talking. It was just quiet.
Very few dialogues.
Yeah. And What happens in the end? Like, is it written or?
Well,
We
I
can't
think
spoil
it's
it.
not spoiled, yeah, because people have watched it already.
Yeah.
But they move their separate ways, obviously.
Yeah.
And
So when that scene where you go to the bathroom, you're like reconsidering, or was it not planned to?
it wasn't planned. They realized at the bus stand that these are not what we imagined them to be. I remember the dream sequences where he's walking and she's like this.
Yeah.
They realize that, okay, this is not true. And I think it's a really mature step that they take, because when you realize that, okay, we are two different people than what we imagine.
Yeah.
And it's really mature.
Don't even speak the same language.
Don't even speak the same language. And I think love is like that, right? You feel like but the reality strikes.
Yeah.
But the fact that they stand beyond, and I don't think it was love also, to be very honest. I think it was just infatuation or this spark, this connection that they use as a catalyst to escape their lives.
Yeah.
But then do they want to fall into something again, like a trap again?
Yeah.
But yeah, they have to make that sacrifice. And
yeah, they show like every time the girl is, every time she's at home, it's just bad stuff happening. Like nothing good is happening. And then every time she says picture, she's going and just getting out of that for those 2 hours.
So that's what films are. We were just talking about how films are dream. It is that. It is literally that. For my dad, films was like a very big deal. He used to go outside theaters. He is from a very, as I said, middle class family. So they didn't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
So he would literally stand outside theaters and he would sell tickets in black to get to see one film. And yeah, man. Today, click.
But he must be so happy seeing you in films, and
he cannot really really analyze what's happening.
Okay.
But he has watched the film.
Yeah.
And he keeps saying that I've watched so many films and I've never seen a film as good as this. And he said that after every film.
Yeah.
Because he's my dad.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I wish I could share the experiences and all and discuss it with him like I used to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, but then the fact that he's here and you're doing your thing.
Yeah, and I'm completing his dreams.
Yeah.
And,
what else could he ask for?
Yeah.
Man, this was way better than I thought it was going to be. Like, I just got to learn so much from, like, these are questions that I genuinely had about the industry, and I wanted to see what it works like. And everyone who's watching this, if you've made it till the end, go and watch Ankahi Kahaniya. It's on Netflix. Yeah, man, this was a lot of fun. I loved having you on. And
thank you so much.
We hope to see you many more times on different movies, and you
can
come here and promote them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.